Hey, I am Mercedes Fontaine, and welcome to the Living Purpose Podcast, a place where we jam on owning our life and living our purpose. I'm so glad that you are here. Hey guys, so I am hopping on for a very impromptu podcast. I was literally making a cup of coffee, and I just felt this kind of tug on my heartstrings to just hit the record button and kind of just hang out with you guys and talk to you guys about how the past few months have looked for me and some of the realizations that I have had in the past few days. So many of you know that I have not been present on any of my social platforms, which is really abnormal for me. Usually I am in my stories every day, bringing you guys along with me through my daily life. I am doing reels and really just pouring my heart out to you guys in the hopes that it will empower you and motivate you and inspire you to chase your dreams and go after the things you want and live your life to the absolute fullest. But the past few months have been very emotionally trying for me. I have been in a valley, and what's funny about it is, if anyone knows me personally, or even those who follow my accounts, know that I am all in. Like, I mean, all in to planning out my year. I have a whole entire system and I follow it. It's by Ange Peters. It's called the Beautiful Life Lab. If you guys have not heard of her or have not entered this lab, I'm telling you, you are missing out. I will make sure to put her handle and the link to her stuff in the description and the show notes so you guys can check her out. She is amazing, and this lab has changed my life. But back on track. Anyone who knows me or follows me knows I love to plan out my year. And in this lab, she walks us through many different phases where we reflect on the past year and we really dive deep into, the things that we have done, the things we've accomplished, all of the things. And we kind of take note of where we're at and the dreams we have and the goals we want to reach in this next year. And we literally create ourselves a roadmap. Down to each quarter of the year, down to each month of each quarter of the year, down to each day, the top 3 actions we're going to be doing. Like, it's very, very cut and dry. Like, you have a game plan. And so I was elbows deep in this lab, and I was reviewing this past year because the past few months has been a very, just kind of get up, go through the motions, do what you need to do, heal as you can heal, feel your emotions, let them in, accept them, sit down, have a cup of coffee with them, Don't shut them out, because when you shut your emotions out and you do not accept and process, you are literally a ticking time bomb, and I have learned that. So in doing the whole going through the motions thing, I decided, okay, let me go ahead. She fired up the lab again because we're getting ready to bust the doors open of 2022. And so I'm like, okay, let's review last year. And I am reviewing last year, and I realize so many things. Guys, I had the biggest downloads ever the other night. Like, I'm talking, it was 3:00 in the morning. I'm sitting at my kitchen table and I am just like overwhelmed with the downloads I got. Because at this point I'm realizing, I've not just been in a valley. No, I have been in a shedding season. I have been in a season the past few months where so many things have been shedding itself out of my life. People, friends, situations, literally everything has been shedding for me. And I did not realize that until I was sitting down to do this work. And it really just, it's almost like it was a hug from God. Because, something we have to realize is, as humans, as people, we are designed, we are wired to crave growth, right? And to grow, you cannot stay in a stagnant position. You cannot just sit in one position and expect to grow. Why do you go to the gym? You go to the gym and you work out to grow your muscle. But here's the thing, in order to grow that muscle, what has to happen? That muscle has to have a tiny tear. That's what you're doing. You're breaking down the muscle so that it can tell itself, oh, okay, well, I broke on that weight. That's okay. I'm going to rebuild so that next time I'll be stronger and I can handle it. So in thinking of this, I'm like, okay. So in these past few months, I've not just been in this valley. I have been shedding. Okay. I have had so much trauma memories come up of just things and situations in my life that really hit me and impacted me in negative ways, okay? And so I've been working through that. So in my mind, when all this clarity come, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So this was the muscles breaking so that they could rebuild, so that they could withstand the weight whenever I reach the hill and another valley comes. Because here's the thing, we're always told, this too shall pass when we're in a valley. But when we're on the top of the hill, nobody looks at us and says, hey, this too shall pass, even though it does. Because in order to grow, we can't stay stagnant. So we can't stay in a good position all the time. Because in that good position, is it fun? Yes. Is it joyful? Yes. But is there growth? No. Because in order for there to be growth, there has to be a test. There has to be some type of a stretching, some type of a breaking, in order for you to go through to the next level. So before this valley, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, dang, man, everything is good. I am waking up. I'm in the best moods. My sleep is kicking. It is going great. It is 100%. It's awesome. This life is good. Nah, man, I got slapped upside my head real quick because that too passed. Oh, it passed. But had that joyful state not passed, and had I not been in that valley, I never would have shed the things that I have shed over the past few months. I never would have done it. And it really opens my eyes. I sat back down last night and I'm going over my review of last year and I'm really just sitting with it. Because this is part of what she teaches in the lab. She says, don't rush through all these things. You need to really sit with it and you need to get deep with it and you need to ask yourself the hard questions. Because nobody's going to ask you the hard questions. Nobody's going to want to get that real and that raw with you. You got to do it for yourself. So I was reviewing these questions and it made me realize so many people, are grateful for the good, but they're never grateful for the bad. They're never grateful for the hard times. They're like, oh, I'm just so glad that I made it through that. But they're not glad about the lessons they learned. They're not grateful for the things that they were taught and the clarity that came with the nights where you're sitting on the kitchen floor and you're crying because you're just emotionally drained. They're not acknowledging the fact that, their willpower muscle and their strength and their emotional readiness was grown and expanded through those valleys. So as I was reviewing, I was just like, God, thank you for the valley. Thank you for the valley. Because without that valley, I probably never would have known gratitude. Without that valley, I probably never would have learned boundaries. Without the valley, I never would have said no. Because the no that I gave opened up a yes for tomorrow. And so going into 2022, after I sat there and I reviewed the past year and I had these downloads and everything, there was such a strong, and I'm talking thick, clarity about what 2022 is fixing to be for me. And when I say grateful is an understatement, there is a light that just showed up. And I have planned out my entire 2022. I have set up all the goals, and I have made my entire blueprint. And after I did that and I got it all written out on paper, and I plugged it all into my Google Calendar because I'm a nerd like that. After all of that, I sat at my kitchen table with my cup of coffee and I just looked at it. And guys, I'm telling you, there was such a peace in the air. There was such a peace in the air. My son actually came into the kitchen and he came and stood over my shoulder, over on the right side. And he laid his hand on me and he just stood there in silence. He just stood there in silence. And for anyone that knows my kid, he's very animated. He is definitely a wild card, and it is very, very rare for him to be quiet because he loves to talk and he loves to speak his mind. And he just come and he stood over to my right side and put his hand on me, and he just stood there in silence for 10 minutes and just looked at the papers on the table. And in my mind, I just kept hearing, "This too shall pass." And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I am so grateful that I have seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and these past few months have had such an impact on me. And all the things that needed to be shed have been shed because now I can show up better for my family. I can show up better for myself and for you guys. But it would not be me if I was not transparent with you guys because, Sadie, Mercedes, whichever one you want to call me, I don't have good days every day. I'm just like each and every one of you. I have bad days. I have crappy days. I have days where I just want to sit in the kitchen and cry. I'm human. But the thing is over the past few months, I have learned to find the good and to look at the good and drown out the bad. Because it's my responsibility to be thankful. It is my responsibility to honor the blessings that have come my way. But it is God's responsibility to handle the bad. It's God's responsibility to cover that part. And if I am taking care of my part and God is taking care of his, and we are walking in a partnership, in a co-partnership relationship, then nothing formed against me shall prosper. And so that was just on my heart and that was just on my mind. And I really wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like 2022 is going to be a year where so many people are going to be woke up. So many people are going to find their passions again. So many people are going to find their voice again. And they are not going to take no for an answer. 2022 is going to be a year where people stand up united together and cheer each other on to follow their dreams and to teach our children how it's supposed to be done. And I feel like my season of shedding came at the right time, because the mindset I am in tonight, I am ready to bust down the doors of 2022, guns a-blazing, because this is going to be an amazing year. Okay, guys, I love you so much. I love you bunches, and I hope everyone has a wonderful and amazing Christmas. Make sure you check out my stories, because I will be back. I will be present, and I will share it with you guys. I love you guys. Go and own your life and live your purpose. Okay, bye. You made it. So if you enjoyed our chat today and you want to connect with me on all the social media accounts and follow along with all of my shenanigans, make sure you check the show notes below and connect with me, follow me, comment. We can talk, chat, vibe, whatever you want to do. And also, if you want to get in on that beautiful life lab by the wonderful and computers, then make sure you click the link below and connect with her, because she is the most amazing mentor ever, and 2022 is going to be dope. Okay, guys, I love you. Bye.